This is ASBR Boxing. Delighted to be joined by Niall and Thomas. Different time zones here. And this fight we are about to talk about is actually going to be obviously in Thomas's time zone over in America. We are doing the big fight breakdown now for the massive, massive fight on December the 9th between Regis Prograis and Devin Haney. Goes down at the Chase Center in San Francisco, California. WBC super lightweight title on the line. Lads, thanks very much for joining me. Before we get into any pressing questions, just want to ask: are you excited for this fight, Thomas? I'm sure you are.
Oh, absolutely. I'm, excuse me, I'm willing to see, or I'm excited to see what Devin Haney is capable of doing at junior lightweight, or I'm sorry, junior welterweight. And I think Regis Prograis is going to be a good test for him. So I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. And I'm hoping I can make it there. But we'll see about that. It's kind of a couple hours away from me, so we'll see. Hopefully, I can make that happen.
Yeah, fingers crossed it would be good. What about you, Niall? Are you echoing what Thomas says there? Are you excited for this fight?
Yeah, really excited. I think we're all looking forward to this one. It's always a great occasion when two kind of elite level operators face off against each other. And as Thomas said, for his first fight in the new weight class, Regis Prograis is about as tough as it gets, to be honest. So yeah, very interested to see how Devin Haney performs in his new surroundings. And of course, it's a chance for Regis Prograis to maybe get registered that kind of standout win in his career so far. So yeah, can't wait for this one.
Absolutely. You kind of hit the nail on the head there, Niall. I think, Haney's already a massive name, obviously undisputed. Down at 135 pounds at lightweight there. Now stepping up, and this is his first fight at 140. And yeah, fair play to him for taking this fight, jumping straight in there and fighting one of the best in the division. And obviously, kudos to Regis Prograis too for taking that Haney fight. We may as well get into it, chops. Neither fighter really needs an introduction, I suppose. Both big names, both world champions. The first question I wanted to discuss with you guys is looking post fight now. We're going to look post fight. We're going to do this in reverse. Is the winner the best super lightweight in the world? Do you think, or is there a case for the likes of Teofimo Lopez, even Jack Catterall, for someone being number one, or is the winner of Prograis Haney the best super lightweight in the world? Now I'll come back to you first.
This is an interesting question. I was thinking of this before the video, but it's a very interesting one because you look at Haney and Prograis and you think the winner would obviously be the number one in the super lightweight division, but it's quite a strange division because you had Josh Taylor for so long, who was the reigning kind of king, obviously the undisputed king of the division, and then he was on a slide against Jack Catterall. He very arguably lost that fight, and then Teofimo Lopez, who was considered himself finished, or pretty much so, at lightweight before he moved up, and he was brilliant against Josh Taylor. So I think if we're going on resume, I think Teofimo Lopez has the best win in the division. I know he's only fought, a couple of times there, but I think the Josh Taylor win and the manner in which he kind of uh, dealt with Josh Taylor was quite incredible. So to answer your question, I think Teofimo Lopez has to be for what he's done at 140 already. Prograis, a great fighter, but I don't think his resume stands up to it yet. I know, obviously, Josh Taylor beat him. It was very close, but he did beat him. And Devin Haney, who's potentially, I think, will be the biggest star at 140 and maybe beyond. But I just think for now, Teofimo Lopez for me is the man. It's a very intriguing division, but yeah, I just think that Josh Taylor win for Teofimo Lopez seals it for me at the minute.
Absolutely, yeah. I can't really disagree with what you're saying. What about you, Thomas? Do you agree with what Niall's saying there? Do you have Lopez as potentially the best, or do you think the winner of this one could be the number one in the division?
Um, to be honest, I think all these guys they got to fight it out first before I'm willing to pick someone as the best in the division. If Haney beats Prograis, that's a good win, but it's not enough for me to really, put him above the rest. And I don't think Tiafimo's win over Josh Taylor was enough for me to put him above the rest. There's just too much talent in that division. I think these guys got to fight it out for us to really, figure out who's the best.
So who's number one as of today in your eyes then?
Um, you know, I think that when it's all said and done, I I believe Devin Haney would come out on top versus all the title holders and top fighters in the division. But you know, Haney versus Tiafimo is a good matchup. Who knows how that could go? So um, I'm not. I say he's right now. I think he might be the best, but I'm really not sure. You have to wait and see.
Absolutely. Let's just hope that these fights do get made in the future. We can sit and discuss these for years to come. And yeah, there's some cracking fights to be made at 140 pounds for sure. Looking at the fight on December 9th, chaps, what do you think are the keys to victory for both men? What I'll do is I don't know who you both think are going to win the fight, but I'll go to Niall first and say, right, Niall, how does Devin Haney win the fight? And then I'll go back to you, Thomas, and ask you how does Regis Prograis win the fight? So Niall, how does Devin Haney win?
I think it's a very intriguing clash of styles, this one for me. They both bring something really kind of interesting to the table here. I think Devin Haney has to do what he does best, and that's take the center of the ring and use his length, his long jab and his speed. He's one of the best fighters in the world for me at the minute of using that length effectively. He stands, as I say, he takes that center of the ring and he pops that jab off. He's got clever feet, and I think the key to victory here for Devin Haney is to get. They kind of have similar aims here, but Devin Haney has to get Prograis chasing him because one weak point Prograis has is his footwork, and when he has to chase fighters down, he can get almost found out a little bit. He looks quite predictable and slow with his feet. So I think Devin Haney has to get Prograis coming after him and just pick him off as he comes in. And I think the body work as well is going to be important because one thing Prograis does really well is the upper body movement. That very kind of almost unorthodox head movement, the dipping and the weaving constantly. So he's never on that center line. So I think the body work for Haney will be key, and to get Prograis to come onto him. The body never moves, so he's they say that the head moves, but the body doesn't. So I think the body work and take the center ring and get Prograis walking on. He displayed good body work against Lomachenko too, which was kind of a highlight of his in that fight. So I think it'll be key here as well.
Yeah, very interesting. Great analysis. There, Niall. Thomas, coming to you now. Niall kind of touched on there that Prograis maybe has slower feet than some others in the division. We saw obviously Devin Haney. Last time out, he it's the closest he came to getting beat. I'm not saying he got beat. A lot of people maybe did have Lomachenko winning that fight, but obviously Lomachenko, nobody can replicate what he does. But if you're Regis Prograis, you look at that fight and think, this is what I need to do to beat Devin Haney, or does he have a totally different game plan? Tell me how he wins the fight, Thomas.
I think no one could do what Lomachenko did to Haney, to be honest. And like you said, no one can replicate that. Um, and Niall was correct saying that you know, in my opinion, I think Regis's footwork isn't really just overall his physicality is not really uh, compared to the other champions in the division, like Tiafimo and then Devin Haney. I don't really think that he's very athletic, and compared to those guys at least. And I don't think that he should sit back and box with Devin Haney either, because I think that Haney would, uh, beat him in that game pretty easily. I think that he's going to have to uh, push Devin Haney back, make the ring small, and really just take the fight to him I think that's his best option to win. You know, go down to the body, put in the work to the body and cut off the ring. And I think that would be his path to victory, but I still don't know if that would be enough.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Thanks very much, lads, for both of your analysis. I'm sure we could sit and discuss this all night, but we've got some other pressing questions we need to and topics we need to discuss. Thomas, coming back to you. Even before a punch is thrown in this Prograis Haney fight, do you consider Devin Haney to be in the pound for pound conversation? If not yet, is he if he wins?
I think he should be a part of that conversation. I mean, if he's already been undisputed champion at lightweight, and he's could he's going to be on his way if he wins Saturday, December 9th, to being a two division title holder. So, I think those accomplishments are pretty significant. And, I see him coming out on top versus, you know, most, if not all, of the talent in and around that division. So I think he definitely should be a part of that discussion. I don't think number one, but he should be a part of that discussion, perhaps top 10, top five.
Yeah, very interesting. I think I agree with you. There, I definitely have him in my top 10 now. So I maybe have to have a proper think about it to see whether I put him in my top five. But what about you, Niall? Do you agree with what Thomas has said there?
I do, yeah. I think he has to be in the pound for pound top 10, at least. As was mentioned, undisputed champion at lightweight. Went to Australia twice, beat Cambosos, who beat the man, and then he fought Lomachenko, controversial or not. A lot of people thought Lomachenko won, but I think it was a close fight, and he has that win on his record now. And anybody who has a Lomachenko win on their record deserves to be in the pound for pound list. So yeah, I have to agree, and I think he has the talent, the resume so far, and he's only going up because the scary thing is he's 24, so he hasn't even really hit his prime yet. I know he's 30 fights into a career, but he's only 24. And yeah, I think the sky's the limit to break into the top five in the future, which he could go a long way towards doing if he was to be Prograis. So yeah, definitely pound for pound top 10 for me.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're all in agreement there, lads. Now looking again at this fight, on the night, I'd say, a lot of people not, Devin Haney isn't a huge puncher. Roughly around half of his victories have come via knockout. Prograis, on the other hand, has 24 stoppage victories in his 29 wins. Going right back to you first, Niall. My question for you is this fight destined to go 36 minutes without giving your prediction away? Or do you think that if there's perhaps a possibility that we could be seeing a stoppage here?
I think, as you said, without giving a prediction away too much, I think for one man, I think it has to be finished inside the distance. I don't think Regis Prograis can outbox Devin Haney. And I also don't think Devin Haney has the power to kind of stop Regis Prograis. He's not a big puncher. He might pack a bit more punch now at 140. We can only wait and see. But Regis Prograis' best chance would be to knock Devin Haney out. Whether you can do that or not, I don't know. But if he was to win a decision against Devin Haney, I'd be very surprised. So he definitely has the power to. And we've seen Haney get hurt before. Linares had him wobbling in that famous clip that I think everybody's seen. So there is vulnerabilities there, and he can be hit. So yeah, it very well could end in a stoppage. But for the New Orleans man, for me, is the most likely candidate to get that stoppage, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I'm sure are you in total agreement, Thomas?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see Prograis outboxing Haney. I think he would have to look or get that knockout. And that's at least his, you know, best chance of winning, in my opinion. Um, and he does have the power. And like Neil said, he does get hit sometimes, and he generally has pretty good defense, but he can get hit and he does get hurt. So it'll be interesting to see, especially moving up in weight, how he reacts to getting hit on the chin if he
Definitely,
does.
yeah. Yeah. Well, if he does, yeah, you're right. Remains to be seen. It's come to that time. Suppose, chaps, we kind of flirted with it there a little bit. We may as well get into predictions now. Thomas, coming back to you first. You and Niall have both kind of agreed there that the fight, if Prograis to win, it's likely to be a stoppage. If Haney's to win, it's likely to be on points. What way are you going? What is your final prediction for December 9th?
I see Devin Haney winning on points, unanimous decision, and I think it should be pretty clear. Maybe Haney or Prograis will have his moments, and maybe he might hurt Haney at some point in the fight. But if that does happen, I'm pretty confident that Haney would be able to overcome that and stick to his game plan and outbox Regis Prograis over 12 rounds.
Yeah, very interesting. I think you've summed it up well there. Niall, do you agree with what Thomas had said?
I do. I see Devin Haney winning on points and quite widely, to be honest. I mean, nothing against Regis Prograis. I think, he's a brilliant fighter in his own right, but I can see a brilliant Devin Haney performance here. I just think he's too well rounded for Prograis, minus the power. He just has it all really. Uh, I can see Prograis footwork letting him down and him being picked off, trying to come forward and land big shots on Haney. I just think he's too slow a foot to kind of cause him the problems necessary to win. So I'm going Devin Haney, unanimous decision, maybe 116, 112, 117, 111, something like that, in a very kind of noteworthy performance.
Well, I think we're going to make it a full house because I'll give my prediction as well. I am going to go with what you two have said as well. I'm going to go with Devin Haney to win on points, but I'm going to throw a spanner in the works. I think he might have to overcome a little bit of adversity here. I could maybe even see Devin Haney getting off the floor to win. Not overly hurt or staggered or anything like that, but kind of maybe a flash knockdown. Because as we've said, Prograis is a big puncher. We don't know how Devin Haney's going to look at 140 yet. I mean, likely he will look good, but we don't know until he gets in there on the night. So I'll go for Prograis maybe to knock him down early on and say the third within 3 or 4 rounds, but eventually Haney just takes over and outboxes him. And yeah, I think it'll be a comfortable enough victory for Devin Haney on points, becoming a two-weight world champion in the process. Lads, I've really enjoyed that. I'm even more excited for the fight now than I was 20 minutes ago before we started. So yeah, I really appreciate it. And guys, if and everyone watching, let us know your thoughts on this fight. Are you back in Regis Prograis to retain his title, or do you think we're Devin Haney is going to become a two-weight world champion? Thomas, Niall, thanks very much for your time again, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you.
Cheers. Speak soon.